So on to the last batch of students, the tired one, the distracted one, and the bored one. I wish that these weren't as common as they were, but unfortunately you're going to come across a lot of them. So these guys, involve them in lots of TPR. So just as you avoided an energetic TPR with the last batch of students, you want to use a lot of it with these guys. So these would be the ones that if they're tired at the beginning of class, you'd be like, all right, stand up. Let's do jump, 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 or punch, 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 or patty cake, something like that. If you do yoga or you do dance, then other teachers have brought that into the classroom, and just a little something to get them thinking, energy flowing, moving. And you're probably going to find that your final students, if you're finishing at 2200, are very tired. Because if you think about it, that's 10 p.m. their time when they finish class with you. And if you're like me, I didn't stay up till 10 p.m. when I was a kid, let alone to do a class online with some foreign stranger. So these guys, you're going to want to wake up and get them excited. And if they're still not engaged, try to present the materials in varying and creative ways. For example, I have a student, Sophie, and I know she's good at reading, but she also is she's very sad, very bored and tired a lot of the time. And one way that I use to get her excited about the class is I'll be like, all right, Sophie, how about we choose a funny voice to read the text today in? What voice do you want to use? And she'll be like, a ghost? I'll be like, that's a great idea. Read it like a ghost. And then she'll read it like a ghost. And she laughs, and it's funny. And it's just something to change it up a bit, shake it up, make it different, make them excited about being there, and knowing also that you care about them. And that's another important thing too. You might not know the difference between these students, but the one way that is a fail-safe to find out if they're tired, distracted, or bored, or even if, it's low level and maybe they're not getting it, is just ask them, are you tired today? Are you bored? Is this too hard? Is this too easy? And you might be surprised at the answers. There's a student that I thought for sure just hated me, straight up, didn't talk to me, didn't pay attention. And I was like, are you bored or tired, or is it too hard? And he just said he was really tired. He really appreciated after that I paid attention to how he was feeling, because a lot of the time the teachers don't, and they're like, do it, you're a machine. So have a little bit of human compassion there. It goes a long way. Another good way to get them excited is have them bring you things to show you. So stuff like toys, drawings, instruments. If they have a guitar or something, maybe you have a guitar, a ukulele, and you can bring it into class, and then maybe if they're good enough, they can play you a song very quickly if you're not too strapped for time. But they love to talk about what they love. So just ask them about it, and their face will light up, and you're really not going to regret learning a little bit more about them and learning what makes them tick, because it'll be easier for the next time. If they're distracted with a toy or something, try to find a way to incorporate it into your class. So I had a student, Shark, and he has like the most toys I've ever seen a child have. His entire wall display of his room was just different Gundam action figures. And he would always be playing with one or another, or he had a stuffed animal from the time he went to SeaWorld in California or whatnot. And he would never really pay attention to class unless I found a way to bring the Gundam figurine in, bring the SeaWorld orca whale in. And if I had them trade out the nouns that they were using in their sentence structures for that given day, and I had them use those nouns instead, the Gundam likes this, or the orca whale eats this. They became a little bit more excited about using the language because it related to them and they understood it in the context of their own life and how they would then use it. For example, trainer Shiloh has another student, and I kind of wish I had this student because he sounds amazing, but he loves Harry Potter, and he will not answer questions in class unless it's contextualized to be something Harry Potter. So when she asked him, what job do you like? Or what job do you want to have? And he was like, I don't know, jobs are boring. And she was like, well, do you want to be a doctor or a police officer? And he was like, she's like, do you want to be a Mediwitch or an Auror? And he was like, yeah, I want to be an Auror. And he got really excited. So see if you can use that and use their things that distract them and like marry the two together. And finally, use rewards as motivation. So I mentioned before that David is also a bit of a distracted student, so I often use rewards as motivation for him. I say, David, if you don't come back to class, we won't have time to draw a dinosaur. And then he'll be like, oh, okay. And he'll come back to class, and I'll be like, all right, so let's do this really quickly. Oh, no, come back. Dinosaur. Remember, we're going to draw a dinosaur at the end of class. And he'll keep coming back. I have to remind him very often, but at the end of class, then just reserve a minute or two for drawing that dinosaur, following through on your reward, and you're going to find that it's easier to motivate them in the future. And essentially, that is the crux of difficult students. So I hope that you have found this helpful in navigating the different ways that you can help all these different students. And you're going to have to mix and match these techniques for sure, but this is a basic breakdown of the kinds of students you're going to encounter in your classes.